Pretty quick right after that. Could you just imagine something? So, imagine you're in a concert hall, and you're wearing your best clothing, it's a little bit uncomfortable, kind of itchy, it's kind of hot, it's dark, you're around strangers, you don't really know what's going on. There's music playing, it's beautiful. Music stops, you go to clap, because that's what you do when music stops, right? You clap. And everyone scowls at you when you clap, because you didn't know that you were supposed to clap. Now, there's a baby crying in the background, someone's on their cell phone, and you're just wondering, why did I pay this exuberant amount of money to be this uncomfortable? Now, we are the Everybody's Everything Project, and we want to change that experience. My name is Miguel Landistor, this is 9 West, and we're a couple of music business majors that believe we have a solution to this problem that's plaguing orchestras, or traditional orchestras, all around the country. Now, traditional orchestras are crumbling for myriad reasons. One, there's a lack of support, a lack of donor funding, dwindling audiences. We all heard about this in the news, I'm sure. There's also just a distinct lack of relevance to today's society, what's going on today. Now, how does that harken back to here, back to Lowell? Well, there are very few orchestral experiences in the Merrimack Valley, one being the Lowell Philharmonic, the other being the University Orchestra. And they are amateur orchestras and aren't really doing anything to innovate. They aren't doing anything that brings new people into this experience. And part of that is the programming, the music that they're playing. Now, you can play your Beethoven, you can play your Mozart, you can play your Haydns, and that's amazing. You can play this music, but you're not bringing new people. The Everybody's Everything Project is planning on innovating and making an environment that can change that.
And the solution to that would be to make a non-traditional orchestra that would be based in Louisville. And what this orchestra would do would play repertoire or music that is mostly contemporary, but still complements classical, which will broaden our demographic and also bring upon new audiences. By doing this, we redefine the orchestral experience. Now, you wouldn't be there in a seat, general admission, watching one focal point for 2.5 hours. Instead, you might have a drink in hand, talking to a friend, a social setting. And you might see, a soloist, maybe the entire orchestra. You could choose to pay attention to them or not, but it's social gathering, it's expressive. It gives people a lot more time to kind of appreciate their environment rather than feeling obligated to act a certain way or follow certain traditional rules.
Now, there is an amazing amount of opportunity for this kind of experience in Lowell. In fact, Lowell's motto is, art is the handmaiden of society, as you all know as it was, right? Now, 30,000 people attend the Summer Music Festival during the summer. That shows that there's an acute interest in this kind of musical experience here, and there could be more than just this summer music series. Also, our target audience is between the ages of 18 and 35, new people that we can engage in this experience. Just under half of Lowell's population is between the ages of 15 and 44, giving us some people to attract. You might ask yourself, this is such a good idea. Why hasn't this been done before? And it has, just not in this area. Similar things have happened all around the country, and they're thriving. For example, the New World Symphony puts on concerts with full DJs, accompanied by orchestra. And due to this innovative structure, this innovative new way of thinking about the orchestra, they're engaging these new audiences and thriving because of it. Now, we're slightly different in what we do, but our biggest difference is actually in how we make our money.
So our revenue model that you see before me is actually based on 2 small events over a 6-month period. That's one event every 3 months. Now, what we're doing is, first year, we are relying on ticket sales. Usually, orchestras rely on endowments, donations, unreliable sources. But what we're doing in the first year, ticket sales will be our main revenue. But then after that, our second year will be based on lessons that we will be giving to community outreach. And those will particularly come from our demographic and our audience that have participated in our shows that just want to be a part of the experience a little bit more. Now, this is actually based on a 36-month revenue budget that we have in your packets. And just to make a note, the advertising is not $50, it's actually $500. We take a lot of pride in our first year advertising because marketing is big on this event. These events are very, very large, and our Kickstarters, which are the 2 events, will be the beginning of our venture. And today we are reaching out to you guys for $12,000 in seed money.
Now, we want to harken back to the experience at the beginning, that really uncomfortable experience, right? Imagine instead of being in that stuffy seat that you are in standing in an open space, you're not in your uncomfortable clothing, you're in whatever you want to be wearing at the time. You have a drink in your hand, and you're having fun. You're seeing someone on stage perform for you, giving them your gift, or giving you their gift, excuse me. And it's a completely different experience, and we're keeping this music alive now. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
So, it looks on this income statement that your year one advertising expense is $1,000. Is that accurate?
Yes.
So where do you advertise for $1,000? It looks like you've got 125 per month thereabouts.
Yes.
What would you be doing with that advertising?
Well, as far as this area, well, part of our model is that we're collaborating with artists in the community. So the artists in the community that we're looking at have fan bases. We'll be capitalizing on their fan bases to engage new people into this experience. Also, social media is a big tech. We'll be channeling local radio stations as well as television. Any media you can grab that where people are already listening. Anywhere we can find new people that aren't already seeing these kinds of experiences is where we want to be focusing.
So where would you have a venue where people could just be standing around drinking and socializing versus?
Well, there are tons of venues downtown.
There's actually one on Front Street, if you've ever been over there by the boarding house park, the little cultural center, the Cambodian ensembles, they have some practice there right now. They hold many events, some of which I've been to. There's also Mill Number 5, the Luna Theater, which has jazz sessions, and also a lot of classical contemporary venues and ensembles do go there to perform. So those are the type of venues that we're looking at right now, but they're starting to pop up more because Lowell's become such a big art scene. So those would be the small, nightclub type venues that we go for because they're very, very diverse and they can become, a conference center during the day and at night they become a very nice social scene.
What do they charge?
They charge for Luna. Well, those are based on what they do is actually they kind of take from concessions at one point, but it's kind of negotiated between the artist and the person who is there for the day. So I couldn't give you a definite number on how much they charge, but it's very accessible to what our demographic is.
So do you have to rent out the venue?
Yes, it's dependent on which venue they develop.
And then the venue has their own concessions, or do you have to bring in a caterer, bar unit separate? How does that work?
Depending on the venue. For example, the Luna Theater has its own concessions, and we would use theirs. If there wasn't a already used concession stand there, we would have to hire some people.
Do you have to guarantee them a certain amount of concessions? So you have to guarantee, so when you rent out a place for a wedding or whatever, you still have to guarantee so many people, so much money.
So many people, yes. But as far as the concessions, no. I actually have contact with the Luna Theater, I'm actually one of the pianists that plays at the jazz sessions there. She wasn't worried about the concessions, she was worried about getting people in.
Do you already have all of your artists, or how are you going to get the artists that are going to perform? Do you have a Rolodex of people, and how does that work?
Well, we are both musicians and professional in nature.
Yes.
We play all the time. We have connections all around this area as far as professional musicians, artists, different bands, different kinds of artists, all around this area. We also have many connections just as far as how to find these people. Our orchestra will be by audition, by AFM standards, American Federation of Music. The artists will be scouted as far as to see if they can mesh with this ensemble, to see if they have any material that can be of use to us, if that makes sense.
What's your equipment rental?
Any instruments we have to rent for certain arrangements, as well as anything we need for a rig as far as lights, chairs, all those kinds of things.
Lights are usually accounted for that mostly because it's temporary. It's not something you can kind of carry with you everywhere you go. So, you know, before you actually book a venue, you need to make sure that lights are taken care of. That's usually what, well, venues in my experience have been accounted for. They're really keen on getting that situated for anything because of this temporary. Any other questions?
Any other questions? Thank you very much. Fine presentation, much appreciated.